Good afternoon. I'm State Representative Bob Godfrey, Deputy Speaker of the American House of Representatives. Thank you all for being here today. We're going to talk about the accomplishments of the legislature in the last legislative session in a general way for the state of Connecticut and in a more specific way for the greater Danbury area. And who better to do that than a very special guest here today, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Donovan from Meriden. So please join us in welcoming him.
Thank you. Thanks, Bob. Nice to see everybody here. It's sunny Danbury. Seems like we were here not that long ago working on concerns for the city, the state. You know, this year we had an ongoing fight, I guess, dealing with the budget, and we had to figure out what our priorities were. And we made sure the gentleman behind me and others made sure that the needs of the cities, and in particular the needs of Danbury, are met by the General Assembly. So when we dealt with the budget, we passed the budget. The budget is balanced for this year and last year during the worst recession in our lifetimes. We were able to do it by maintaining services to the city. And we're here at the library particularly because throughout our negotiation of the budget, there were proposed cuts to the library. And those cuts came in the forms of interlibrary borrowing, the internet, etc. Not only would affect the Danbury library, but libraries across the state. So we're here at the library to say that we know in these tough times it's important to support the library. But a number of other things we did to help the city was there was proposed cuts to before and after school programs. We didn't make those cuts. There were cuts to priority school, which would have cost Danbury taxpayers hundreds of thousands of dollars that we didn't do as well. But we also did other things. We passed legislation that would help the city deal with certain law restrictions to make sure they were easier for the city to deal with, such as foreclosures and tenants and postings on the internet. We also dealt with saving the city, hopefully saving the city money in terms of health care. We passed a prescription pooling bill, which the governor just signed. We passed that, and that allows cities like Danbury to see if by purchasing their prescriptions for town employees through the state purchasing pool, they can actually save money. And we believe the smaller towns can save anywhere a couple $100,000. The bigger cities could save up to like $1.5 million. So ways to save money as well. So these were a collective of the Democrats' priorities, trying to help the cities out. I'm grateful to my colleagues here. We have Deputy Speaker Bob Godfrey does a tremendous job up there. Joe Tabersack, State Representative Joe Tabersack, always looking out for the interest, and of course Jason Bartlett made a major role in dealing with our education reforms here this year. So great to be back in the Hat City. It's always a pleasure, and it's a pleasure to serve with these fine state representatives.
I just want to say that our leadership this year has been remarkable. The fact of the matter is that we all need to be proud of the House Democratic leadership, specifically Speaker Donovan, and the fact that we walked out with a balanced budget that preserved the priorities that I think are right for the state of Connecticut. Okay, that starts with libraries and it continues on into education. I think that the two go hand in hand. The fact of the matter is right now we're having a crisis in Danbury. We're talking about laying off teachers in our schools. That crisis is one that every municipality in the state of Connecticut faces. And I don't think the right thing to do going forward is laying off teachers and doing larger class sizes. What I think is we have to look at our budget and make the kinds of cuts that are necessary, streamline government the way that we need to get efficiencies and savings, but not to start cutting teachers. That is not the answer.
You're here.
So I'm very proud that the Speaker made sure that we had the right values and the right priorities, and the fact that we continue to fund education. And what we've done now is we've begun to set the stage going forward, where we passed historic education reform legislation where we raised standards in our schools starting in 2014, where now you'll have to get 25 credits to graduate. You'll have to take courses, tests at the end of each course to actually get your high school diploma. Well, if we're going to raise standards and begin to have an educated workforce that can compete globally, we can't raise standards on the one hand and then cut teachers on the other. Our municipalities have to continue to fund education, and we as legislators need to make that fight going forward, that education is our priority. We're doing what we have to do. We've identified 185 failing schools in the state of Connecticut, and we've said that the money that we're putting there is not working, and so we need to make the kinds of reforms needed so that our kids don't face an achievement gap, and so they do have the quality education that they need. And here in Danbury, we'll have a school governance council at the high school, and I encourage the Board of Education to increase the role of parents in their schools, because we know that parental involvement is the key. And the more infrastructure we have at each school where parents are really involved, the more we will be able to stop the kinds of budget cuts that those on the right, that those who aren't making education a priority are advocating for. We'll be able to stop that. We'll be able to make sure that education retains a special place as a priority for us here in the state of Connecticut.
Standing here with my speaker who fought hard for public libraries, what this is all about. The difficult economic times that we're going through right now, it's hardly the time for government to start taking away critical resources, critical free resources from the public. The reality is today that not only are libraries here for free research, for the ongoing quest for knowledge, open to the public, but people come in and use this library and the technology that it offers to explore possible job opportunities, to work on their resumes. For some people, this is the only access they have to information technology, and it's provided free to them, day in and day out. And that is such an important service for people during these difficult times when they're out of work and they need access to computers, they need access to information. So I'm very proud that the Democratic Party, under Speaker Donovan's leadership, fought for this issue because it's very important. And I'm here to renew our commitment to continue to fight for the free public libraries like this building here today for the next couple of years, because we're not done. These tough times are going to be here for a while, and we're going to have to keep this fight going. There are a number of other things that I think are worth mentioning here today that affect Danbury constituents and residents that the Democratic Party, under Speaker Donovan's leadership, fought for that are important. My colleagues have mentioned a few. I'll just mention one that I think bears mentioning. Foreclosure mediation. A Democratic proposal that we made sure would continue this year. The Connecticut foreclosure mediation program is a role model for other states to follow. It's nationally recognized as such, and it's saving a lot of people. It's helping a lot of people stay in their homes. And I think during these difficult times, government has to be about these kinds of sensible proposals. In the first instance, we have to make sure that we don't do more harm to people in these difficult times. And that's part of what was so important about protecting the funding of our public libraries. But we also have to respond to our constituents with reasonable proposals to help them out during these difficult times. And I'm very proud of what we did, again, under our Speaker's leadership, to continue the foreclosure mediation program to help more families, more Connecticut families, stay in their homes.
I want to thank the four gentlemen behind me for their amazing work to make sure that funds to the state library, to public libraries throughout the state, were not cut last year. It has made a big difference to what we can provide here in Danbury. As all the others have mentioned, during really bad economic times and during this recession, public libraries all across the country have been used more and more by all kinds of people, and that's certainly the case here in Danbury. We've had to cut our hours a little bit, but we're still providing all of the basic services. And one of the things that's really important to us here at the library is that we serve all of the various members of the immigrant populations in the city as well. At our language center, we're able to restart computer classes in the fall in English and Spanish, which we haven't been able to do for 2 years. We have a language center where people can learn to speak English online and with various books and DVDs and CDs and all things like that. So we reach out to everybody in the Danbury community, and it's a really busy library, and we're very, very proud to offer those services to our city. So I want to thank Speaker Donovan and Representatives Taversack and Godfrey and Bartlett for being here this morning and for all of the work they did for us last year. And I know all the work that they'll do in the future. So thanks everybody for being with us. I hope you all are really grateful that I provided this wonderful weather.
Very